Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching an India Today special investigation. It's been 14 days since fighter jets of the Indian Air Force struck deep inside Pakistani territory. Since then, the one question that's been in many minds is just what was the nature of damage that the Indian Air Force inflicted in Pakistan? A lot has been said. Many debates have taken place, but so far, nobody has heard from Pakistan because Pakistan is in complete denial. Apart from bombing some trees, they believe, or they'd like the world to believe, that nothing happened. Today, India Today is about to unravel the truth, to show you what happened inside Balakot. We've spoken to locals in Balakot. We've spoken to local Maulvis at the local mosque. We've spoken to local police officers at the Balakot police station. We've also spoken to Jaish commanders. This is a big agenda-setting India Today investigation, and it's coming up on our channel right now. Here is the real proof, Balakot proof that puts all doubts to rest. India's airstrike hit the Pakistan army.
कितने लोग शहीद हुए होंगे हिंदुस्तानी हमले में?
मैंने देखा है 4-5 बंदे शहीद हुए हैं पाकिस्तान आर्मी के.
India's airstrike shook up Pakistan.
आप वहीं थे जब जब्बा में हमला हुआ है?
जी बिल्कुल. ये सुबह 3 बजे का वक्त था और इतनी धमाके से इतनी जोरदार आवाज थी कि बेहिसाब लोग अपने घरों से बाहर निकल आए थे कि एक कयामत सुगरा का मंजर है.
India Today exposes Pakistan's sham. Pakistan gives a free run to Jaish-e-Mohammed.
हाँ, नंबर लिखवा दीजिए मुझे, अकाउंट नंबर जैश का.
जैश का तो अकाउंट नंबर नहीं है कोई भी.
हाँ, जिस
अपना साथी है वो मैं आपको लिखवा देता हूँ.
हाँ हाँ, अब
आप इसका लगे भेजूंगा साथी को यहाँ.
Sham crackdown on Jaish-e-Mohammed. Terrorists are still getting donations.
तो आप ये पैसे पहुंचा देंगे ना जैश को?
मैं इंशाल्लाह बताऊंगा.
Balakot tapes. India Today special investigation. Qayamat ka manzar tha. See, eyewitnesses who were in Balakot the night when the Indian Air Force struck. Sit back as the India Today special investigation team. We had Ankit Kumar, who's our open source intelligence expert. We had Jamshed Khan speaking to people inside Pakistan, speaking to those who are on the ground. We'll also, just in case you're wondering, how do we know that this is indeed the local Maulvi, or how do we know that the person that we're speaking to is indeed the right person? We'll show you where these numbers are accessed from. We'll show you the conversations that took place. And the one thing that emerges most clearly is voices from inside Balakot have told India Today that soldiers of the Pakistani army were amongst those who were killed. It's not just Jaish terrorists, but at least 4 soldiers of the Pakistani army were killed in the Indian airstrikes also. General Ghafoor and everybody in Pakistan are trying very hard to deny it. But after this investigation, their lies will stand completely exposed. Sit back and watch part 1 of this India Today special investigation.
When Indian jets bombed Jaish targets in retaliation for Pulwama, Pakistan hit back with a fog of misinformation. From doctored pictures to playing fast and loose with facts, to blocking international press. From the Jabba terror camp that India hit at Balakot, state and non-state actors left the international community bewildered. But India Today's special investigation team has penetrated the deception. Taking the cover of Pakistani military intelligence, our special investigation team reached out to locals in Balakot and Pakistani officials in POK for answers. Mohammad Naeem is a mosque worker in Balakot. When we called him, he confirmed his identity and location.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम। नूर मस्जिद से बात कर रहा हूँ, शेरी।
ये जबरा के आसपास ही है मस्जिद?
जी,
ये खैबर पख्तून में जबरा के आसपास है मस्जिद ये?
जी जी।
Naeem lived close to the Jabba village in Balakot, where the Indian Air Force raided a Jaish-e-Mohammed camp late last month. Asked about the casualties from air raids, he disclosed that Pakistani soldiers were also killed in the Indian Air Force strikes. Listen in.
कितने लोग शहीद हुए होंगे हिंदुस्तानी हमले में?
मैंने देखा है 4-5 बंदे शहीद हुए हैं पाकिस्तान आर्मी के।
पाकिस्तान
तो बाकी का मुझे मालूम है जी, कोई आर्मी के, कोई निजाम के रिहायशी थे।
पाकिस्तानी आर्मी के लोग शहीद हुए हैं?
जी, आर्मी के हुए।
लेकिन ये बिल्कुल सही है कि ये लोग हलाक हुए हैं?
जी जी।
A mosque worker near the stricken Jabba terror camp not only vouched for the Indian air raids, he also spoke about casualties in the Pakistani army. That suggests the raided Jaish camp was protected by Pakistani soldiers. Our SIT reporters next contacted a cleric from a mosque in another Balakot neighborhood. Rahman recounted the Indian Air Force raid as a doomsday moment. Qayamat ka manzar. He confirmed that the airstrikes left a building badly damaged.
एक मकान है, उसकी डैमेज हुई है, मकान की।
आप वहीं थे जब जब्बा में हमला हुआ है?
जी बिल्कुल। ये सुबह 3 बजे का वक्त था और इतनी धमाके से इतनी जोरदार आवाज थी कि बेहिसाब लोग अपने घरों से बाहर निकल आए थे कि एक कयामत सुगरा का मंजर था।
Confirmed by the residents themselves. We next moved to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, the scene of escalation post-Indian Air Force strikes. Remember, Pakistan has been consistently denying deploying its F-16s against India. When India produced the evidence, it refused to own up part of an advanced missile from an F-16 that the Indian Air Force downed. But at Bimbar in POK, the truth came tumbling out when our team dialed the city police station, posing again as Pakistani military spies. An officer who picked up the phone revealed that the Pakistani army had ordered the entire security establishment not to let any information about the crashed warplane go out.
कैप्टन साहब, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट ये है कि आप जिस नंबर से बात कर रहे हैं वो नंबर नहीं आया।
अरे क्योंकि जीएचक्यू का नंबर है, मैं इंटेलिजेंस डिपार्टमेंट से बोल रहा हूँ। अरे मैं इंटेलिजेंस डिपार्टमेंट जीएचक्यू से बोल रहा हूँ, नंबर नहीं आया।
सर हमें हदायत है कि इस तरह की कोई इंफॉर्मेशन लूज बात नहीं कर सकते।
अच्छा ये बताइए, आपको ये हिदायत किसने दी?
हेलो सर अफरान बाला ने दी है सर।
किसने?
आर्मी काम से भी हमारी अफरान की मीटिंग होती है, उसमें ये फैसले हुए हैं कि कोई ऐसी लूज बात नहीं करनी किसी के साथ।
Secrecy envelopes US-made F-16s in Pakistan. That's because the fighters were deployed against India in the post-Balakot aerial engagements, in violation of agreements that limit their use to counter-terror operations. The Bimbar police official didn't deny the F-16 wreck. Instead, he obeyed the command when asked to guard the site where the jet fell after it was hit by an Indian jet.
हेलो
जी
कैप्टन हनीफ बोल रहा हूँ मैं। आप एक काम करिए, जहाँ पर पाकिस्तान का हवाई जहाज़ क्रैश हुआ है वहाँ पर आप जाइए और वहाँ जाके पूरे एरिया को आप देखिए कि वहाँ कोई भी या हिंदुस्तान का कोई साफ़ी वहाँ पर ना पहुँच पाए। जहाँ पाकिस्तान का जहाज़ क्रैश हुआ है मैं वहाँ की बात कर रहा हूँ। किसी को खबर ना लगे कि हमारा हवाई जहाज़ क्रैश हुआ है।
ओके जी, ओके।
The most extensive intelligence about Balakot and the fallen F-16 is out at last. Jamshed Khan, Ankit Kumar and Sushant Pathak for India Today's Special Investigation Team.
There's one more report coming up in just a moment from now, which looks at how the Jaish's finances are still very much active. But before that, I want to get reactions on what we've just seen. Gaurav Sawant joins us, Ankit Kumar from ISIT. He's been working almost for 2 weeks trying to put this investigation together. Shiv Arur as well. Now, there are two very important things, Gaurav, in what we just heard. One, the Pakistani army has told all locals, all people in any position of authority to stay shut. They were anticipating that somebody may attempt this kind of an operation, and yet we managed to ambush them.
This is tremendous work by Ankit and our entire team here at India Today, Rahul. And this is where Pakistan's lies are getting absolutely exposed. Now, Pakistan claimed nothing happened. Remember, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said, that it was Pakistan that first confessed that there had been an air attack. Pakistan's been trying to play it down, but voices from within Pakistan are now emerging with the truth. And Ankit, very clearly, you and our team, they were able to expose the number of casualties, people killed, and massive damage in Pakistan, in Balakot.
Well, Gaurav, it was not an easy thing to do. What we had to do was we had to, first of all, mask our numbers. We could not have called them from an Indian number. That would not have made it possible. Second thing what we did was we used multiple covers. Our initial covers was from some businessman from Kashmir, some NGO worker from Europe. That did not cut the deal. What actually worked was the cover from GHQ, the General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. When we started making calls to POK, to Balakot and to people in Lahore and Karachi, and we used the cover of GHQ official, Captain Hanif, that really opened the door for us. We almost 200 interviews, always 200 people we tried to talk to. Some of them, we are tutored enough to just deny it plainly. Some of them, we talked to multiple Jaish commanders. What was evident was that all of them have been breathed the same line. They had single response that we have never stepped out of our city. We have never heard of Balakot.
What's also interesting in this investigation, Shiv, is that there is a second fighter that went down somewhere and they've been told to stay shut about it. The local Maulvi at the Balakot mosque tells us that 4 soldiers were killed. These are officers or soldiers, we don't know, but he says 4 soldiers were killed. And yet the Pakistani army somehow brazenly wants to brush all these deaths under the carpet.
And they successfully, until this investigation came out, it looks like they've successfully managed to brush all of it under the carpet. Now, the beauty about the Balakot tapes investigation here on India Today, in my opinion, is how organic it actually is. Ankit and his team have tried cold calling many of these Jaish commanders, people in POK, officers over there. And like you said, the standard line was supposed to be, we won't give any information. Managing to break that cover and elicit real information, not just, Rahul, about the airstrikes themselves, but also, very importantly, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this investigation is the possibility that there are Pakistan army cordons around that F-16 wreckage, which has not come out at all so far, is going to be a really big takeaway. And that's the thing about this investigation. Unlike some of the stuff put on other channels where there are claims being made and documents being shown, these are people and citizens who hold some authority or the other, or some influence or the other in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, speaking of their free volition and free will to India Today and making these claims.
And he talks about Qayamat ka manzar. It was a night from hell when these jets struck. And if it's a Qayamat ka manzar, then it can't be what Ghafoor wants us to believe, that the bombs landed in an open forest. So very clearly, and there's that one madrasa where Al Jazeera, Reuters, everybody wants to go, but they don't let people go there. So clearly something went down. Some of it we've now got evidence for, and the rest Pakistan is still trying to deny, Gaurav.
And Rahul, more and more evidence will filter out in the days and weeks to come. But as you very rightly point out, here is a Maulvi of the Balakot mosque. So he's right there. He's saying we woke up at night or Qayamat ka manzar tha. Bombs were falling. Exactly the number of bombs that Indian Air Force sources were telling us is the number of bombs that he's describing, because India hasn't gone public with the number of bombs that were dropped. He's talking about the number of bombs he's heard, and that is the truth that actually emerges out of this. So that's corroborative evidence. The fact that we've spoken to a Maulvi on ground, and we are not masking names, we are not hiding names. We are saying that this is the Maulvi Naeem and Maulvi of that mosque.
Maulvi Naeem from Balakot, and then there is Maulvi Rahman from another mosque in Balakot. Both of them confirmed the intensity of the strikes. Maulvi Naeem was the one who is confirming that there are 4-5 Pakistani army officials who were killed in the strikes. Naeem tells us, Rahman tells us that there is a building that has been damaged. This goes against some of the report that is coming out of Pakistan, even from international media. Remember, Reuters did this story and said that there was no visible damage, right? But here is an eyewitness who lives in Jabba. He is an eyewitness, and he is confirming that at least one building was damaged completely.
And then, of course, Shiv, Reuters also, Rahul, went back and said that they were not permitted to go on ground zero and report from ground zero.
Which is the biggest smoking gun in this entire operation. Like Ankit just pointed out, it has been more than 2 weeks since the attacks actually happened in Balakot. Isn't it suspicious, even to the Pakistani media, that not a single journalist has been allowed physical access to the actual site? The only photograph that exists so far is a Reuters photograph from a fair distance away, downhill from that apparent madrasa. But nobody has been allowed to that point. So Rahul, the basic point now is the biggest security cordon in Pakistan, or POK, happens to be around this hill containing the madrasa and across around that F-16 wreckage.
The other thing that Pakistan wants the world to believe is that action has been taken against the Jaish-e-Mohammed, that it's now on the banned list, that Maulana Masood Azhar's brother has been taken into preventive custody, and that Jaish finances are being cut down and they're being held back, and there's a massive clampdown that's on. Is that indeed the case? In the next investigation, what you're about to see is significant, because we haven't taken this from any hidden source inside the Intelligence Bureau or the Research and Analysis Wing. We've actually looked at ads put out by the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Pakistani media. Yes, even though it's a terrorist organization, they put out ads where they solicit donations. So we dialed down those numbers and we reached out to the commanders, the operators on the other side who received the numbers, about whether they'd be willing to accept financing. We asked them about whether there'd been any action or any clampdown by the Pakistani army. Sit back and watch as Jamshed Khan and Ankit Kumar from the India Today Special Investigation Team now bring you part 2 of this India Today exclusive investigation, Balakot tapes.
Pakistan first owned up to harboring Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar.
Is the chief of Jaish-Mohammed, Masood Azhar, is he present in Pakistan? And if so, will you go after him?
Well, he is in Pakistan. According to my information, he is very unwell. He is unwell to the extent that he cannot leave his house because he's really unwell.
And then took a 180-degree turn on international media a week later.
Jaish-e-Mohammed does not exist in Pakistan. It has been proscribed by United Nations also and Pakistan also.
Next were tall claims about its clampdown on terror. But India Today has punched holes in Pakistan's disinformation warfare. Our investigative teams have found Jaish-e-Mohammed is brazenly skimming funds from foreign donors, despite the Pakistani state anti-terror announcements post-Pulwama. Our probe tracked the terror group's fundraising activities through its propaganda weekly called Al-Kalam. This Jaish mouthpiece is published from Peshawar city by this man. Talha Saif, a close associate of Masood Azhar and head of the group's propaganda wing. Talha Saif's name features prominently in India's dossier to Pakistan. Our investigative team scrutinized all previous issues closely. We zeroed in on this advertisement seeking funds on behalf of Jaish-e-Mohammed. And when our investigative reporters reached out to the people named in the advertisement, we found they're still raising finances across Pakistan. Taking the cover of Dubai businessman of Pakistani origin, our reporters first contacted Mohammad Riaz, a fundraiser mentioned in the Jaish advertisement. Riaz confirmed his identity and suggested we get in touch with another Jaish man in Lahore to deliver donations, assuming that we called him from Pakistan's Punjab province.
मैं जब्बार बोल रहा था। मैं जब्बार बोल रहा था। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
किन साहब से बात हो रही है? मैं अज़म ग्रामी जान सकता हूँ आपका? हेलो, मोहम्मद रियाज साहब, आपका इश्तहार मैंने देखा था।
अच्छा।
हाँ, तो
मैं तो कराची में होता हूँ, जो तो हमारे साथी होते हैं वहाँ के
जी।
इसमें पंजाब का नंबर होगा और मरकजी नंबर लिखा होगा, जहाँ आपने मेरा नंबर देखा है।
आपका जो अखबार जो निकलता है उसमें से मैंने आपका नंबर देखा है।
नहीं, इस पे सिंध बलूचिस्तान का नंबर लिखा है ना ये मेरा।
हाँ,
आप लाहौर में तो आपको पंजाब वाले नंबर पे राब्ता करना चाहिए या मरकजी नंबर पे। मैं आपको नंबर लिखवाता हूँ।
मुनकर राब्ता 0321 2580 545। ये किन साहब का नंबर है रियाज साहब?
ये अब्दुल्ला नदीम साहब।
अब्दुल्ला नदीम साहब हैं।
ये अब्दुल्ला नदीम भाई होंगे।
A Jaish fundraiser confirmed their men are spread across Pakistan, collecting donations right under the nose of the federal and provincial governments. When contacted again, Mohammad Riaz offered his personal account to deposit the money.
हाँ, नंबर लिखवा दीजिए मुझे, अकाउंट नंबर जैश का।
जैश का तो अकाउंट नंबर नहीं है कोई भी।
हाँ,
मेरा अपना साथी है, वो मैं आपको लिखवा देता हूँ।
हाँ, आप
इंशाल्लाह मैं दे दूंगा साथी को यहाँ।
ये बैंक कौन सी है जनाब?
ये मोहम्मद रियाज के नाम से ये बैंक इस्लामी है।
बैंक इस्लामिक?
जी जी, ब्रांच ये आई है।
और शहर कौन सा होगा?
कराची।
शहर कराची।
मोहम्मद रियाज के नाम से 100
A Jaish operative using his personal account in a financial institution of Pakistan, the Karachi-based bank Islami. Riaz boasted such transactions attract no surveillance.
कि अभी मैं जो आपको इमदाद दूंगा, आपके पैसे आपके अकाउंट में जो पैसे डालूंगा, तो मेरे लिए कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं होगी? क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में जैश पे जिस तरीके से पाबंदियां लगाई जा रही है इमरान खान की जो सरकार है उसकी तरफ से।
नहीं, कोई मसला नहीं, ये तो मेरा प्राइवेट अकाउंट है, किसी को तो नहीं है।
तो आप ये पैसे पहुंचा देंगे ना जैश को?
A haven for terror financing, Pakistan continues to raise and feed jihadi groups, no matter what it claims on international platforms. Jamshed Khan, Ankit Kumar and Sushant Pathak for India Today's Special Investigation Team.
What's very clear in the second India Today investigation package is the fact that instead of taking money into the Jaish official account, he's saying mere account mein transfer kar do, I'll ensure it goes to the Jaish. So there is no clamp down, and these are numbers taken from advertisements, Gaurav. So anybody can actually cross check. These are numbers taken from the Jaish magazine. They put out an advertisement, and that's the number that we call, and he's willing to take money into his own account. You know, for all you know, there could be some corruption in this as well.
Corruption and, Pakistani government corruption also. That this is a country that claims that they've taken action against Jaish-e-Mohammed, a terrorist organization. Jaish-e-Mohammed is a UN-designated banned terrorist organization. But for you, posing as a donor, you had no problems getting these Jaish chaps to tell you that yes, you can give us money.
Forget about UN. Jaish-e-Mohammed is officially banned even in Pakistan.
Yes.
And Jaish-e-Mohammed publishes a weekly which comes out every Thursday. It's called Al-Qalam. The editor of that Al-Qalam mouthpiece of Jaish-e-Mohammed is Talha Al-Saif. Talha Saif, is featured as one of the very close associate of Masood Azhar. That dossier has been given to Pakistan. So Talha, if you read through the Al-Qalam issue which was published last week, you will see Talha Saif's name, Talha Saif's Gmail ID and his official Al-Qalam ID as well. So there was this advertisement, there were 4-5 numbers, and when we called them, assuming to be some Pakistan-born businessman who lives in Saudi, who is now in Pakistan, and he is really pissed about the things that that has been happening. We had to use some words against our own country in order to get the confession out. They said, and we specifically asked, will this new crackdown against JEM will have any effect on the donors or even you? He said, no, there won't be any problem. This is, a private account, and the money will go to, the people associated with Jaish. He also said that, you don't have to worry about it. Because the person we talked to, he lived in Balochistan. He gave us 3 more contacts in Lahore and Karachi. The account is associated with a Bank Islami Bank in Karachi. So it's not that one person is working for Masood Azhar and collecting funds. You have people in Balochistan, you have people in Karachi, you have people in Lahore city as well.
So this will be of tremendous interest, Rahul, to the Financial Action Task Force. This is how Pakistan is hoodwinking the world.
No, but hoodwinking means what, Shiv? Hoodwinking is some great covert operation. Here they are taking out ads in their mainstream dailies in Urdu. Those ads have telephone numbers, and on those telephone numbers they're willing to take donations.
Let's for a moment also remember that, as India Today had revealed last week, this is the same country that locks and unlocks PDF files containing its proscribed list, and just to hoodwink the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force on Terror Financing. So what Ankit and his team have revealed is just how easy it is to actually expose the real financing modus operandi and mechanisms of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. They don't give 2 hoots about whether there is a crackdown, whether there is a freezing of accounts, because as always, the Jaish-e-Mohammed function like termites. They've got people everywhere. All of them have personal accounts into which you can transfer money. Gaurav is absolutely right when he says that there must be a corruption element involving the GHQ as well in all of this, because we're talking about huge sums of money coming in and directed towards terror financing. So what we've really exposed, Rahul, on the other hand now, is that terror financing is a huge mountain. You can bring the FATF in, you can bring the United Nations in. At the end of the day, the paisa will reach the terrorists. That's a given.
And they're doing it in a very open, very brazen kind of fashion. And if the Pakistanis are serious, they look at the evidence that we've put out and they will act on it. That's very unlikely to happen because they're still completely in denial. Now, in the first investigation, you saw how the local Maulvi is talking about Pak army men dying. As an army officer's son, we find it very difficult to believe that an army man can die and the army denies the fact that somebody died.
Yes, I mean, that is the level that Pakistan is sold to terrorism. Rahul, look at the fact that Indian Air Force went and hit a terrorist training camp and Pakistan Air Force responded. So Pakistan Air Force is actually defending terrorists. They're defending Jaish-e-Mohammed. You are very right, but you remember Kargil war, Rahul, 200 Pakistani soldiers died. Pakistan army did not accept them. Indian army had to bury those soldiers. The 13th Battalion of the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, we buried Pakistani soldiers. The same is happening with perhaps that F-16 pilot, Rahul.
What we can do is we can make these numbers available to anyone in Pakistan. General Ghafoor, you watch India Today a lot, you tweet a lot about us. If you're watching, and I'm sure you are, we are happy to give you the number. If you're serious about clamping down, please speak to the local Maulvi, the local police officer who's telling you exactly what happened. And we've also seen, General Ghafoor, that you're trying to make it seem as if no one should say anything. That message going out very clearly from the GHQ, the general headquarters of the Pakistani army, to everyone in the Balakot area, Khamosh. We were able to penetrate that silence. This is the investigation we are putting out. Our coverage continues non-stop. We're back on the other side still.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.